Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in or listening in or watching later on this evening for the March update. Look, apologies for the change in setup that we've got today. As some would know, Facebook has a global outage, and so there's no opportunity, unfortunately, to view live or to ask questions for the March update. Hopefully Facebook can fix that for the next time we run one of these things. But we are recording today's update, and hopefully if Facebook get their stuff together during the day, we'll upload it tonight at 7 o'clock so you can have a look. Just on this, it'll be a very quick update today. We're doing it today during the day rather than the evening because obviously we're 9 days out from an election and there is a whole bunch of things going on, and certainly my schedule and all the official schedules are absolutely flat out. So apologies if this upsets anybody, but I think it's important to give you guys an update of what's going on and where we're going. This will be a very quick update. I've got to get out to Western Sydney to do a media request for fire services out there and an increase in fire services, which I'll go on to a little bit later on. I suppose just to take care of some of the current issues that have been going on since our last update, members should be aware that as of 28th of Feb in your pay packet, you should have got your 2.5% pay rise. So check your pay slips. Let us know in here in the office if that hasn't occurred, and we'll sort that out for you. I suppose just on the 2.5%, obviously that's part of our award. Certainly this update will have an absolute state election flavour to it. Our award obviously is massively affected by, I suppose, what government and what government policies are in place. So keep that in the back of your head when you're voting about your wages, your conditions, and how we negotiate and how we bargain. And we'll certainly, the officials will be out talking to you after the election about the coming 2020 award. So start having a think about that. One of the other, I suppose, big issues that we had, obviously most members would know that we had a massive win against the department in regards to underpayments around recall kilometres. Earlier this year, we took them back to the IRC to start getting some solid dates about when those payments would be made. And a couple of things have happened. So we've got a date from the IRC for the department to pay the over $500,000 in payments back to members. That should be occurring by the 25th of April. But there's a couple of things that, one big thing that has certainly occurred since then, and that is the review of Clause 28 transfer lists. Now, you would have seen this come out in Commissioner's Orders only a couple of weeks ago. You have until, if you are claiming residential priority, which means if you're on a transfer list and you're claiming residential, you've got till the 28th of March to let the department know that you've changed your address, if you've changed your address. Now, I'll give you a very brief, I suppose, example of why you should do these sorts of things. If you've moved from 33 Smith Street, Dapto to 31 Smith Street, Dapto, you need to let the department know. The award's quite clear that if you don't let the department know within 3 months of your change of address, you actually can be removed from the list. So even if you've moved within the same transfer area, and you don't think there's going to be any change to where you are on the list, let the department know because it's an award requirement. So you've got till the 28th of March. Just go into Commissioner's Orders and have a look at that. If you've got any dramas with that, again, contact the union office and we'll give you a hand with that. I suppose on to the big ticket item today, and it's interesting. There's probably a whole bunch of people that don't realise there's a state election in 9 days, and there's a lot of chatter about federal election, but there is a state election in 9 days, and that's the election that we get to vote for our boss. Now, you would have heard, I suppose, over previous updates that I've given that this is the one opportunity where we get to vote for our boss, and it does make a big difference. We've got less firefighters now than we did in 2011. Now, that is a big statistic. In 2011 to now, the population has grown over 700,000 people, and we've got less firefighters to deal with that. this is obviously absolutely problematic. We've got less retained firefighters, less permanent firefighters. So our communities are not being covered with the services that they absolutely deserve. And it's under this current government that's occurred. So obviously the Liberal National Party have been in power now for 8 years, and we've gone backwards. But I suppose a couple of other things about this government that should be noted. Our air sets have been outsourced. That was obviously an issue that we took to the department last year, where we had to threaten to ban those air sets to get them fixed. We've lost aerials. We've had to borrow aerials from Melbourne. We got, I suppose, this government voted down the cancer legislation that Labor put forward, which would have seen, guys currently suffering cancer be covered, and we're still fighting that for members today. So, we've got a government that doesn't, to be broadly put, doesn't necessarily respect firefighters and the frontline work that we do. Now, as part of our campaign to put firefighters right in front of politicians' minds, we asked all the parties very similar questions. SITREP will go out either today or tomorrow, and we'll put those letters up online so members can have a look at the letter that we sent them, and obviously the responses that we've got. We asked them positions about our jobs, our services, and our industrial rights. Obviously they're the three big ticket items that we look after. We got 3 answers back from the 5 parties. So we asked the Liberal Party, the National Party, the ALP, the Greens and the Shooters. The Shooters got back to us and supported us totally. The Greens got back to us, supporting us totally. ALP got back to us. They've offered up 200 jobs, and I'll go into where some of those jobs are in a minute. The Nationals have ignored us and haven't replied to our letter, and similarly the Liberal Party have ignored us and have not replied to our letter. So I suppose some of the stuff that we've got out of the ALP, or what they've committed to, it's 200 permanent jobs. I was just in Ballina this week doing some pre-poll that they've committed 21 new jobs to give more services into Ballina to help out the retained up there. We've got, it'll go 10-14 or 24/7 if Labor get elected into government. We've got a commitment to make Salamander Bay in Port Stephens with an extra 16 jobs, obviously to increase the special roster that's currently there up to 24/7. We've had a a recent announcement for Marsden Park, which has already been committed to by the Liberal government to build, but certainly no staffing commitment. And there was certainly all the rumours around which station they wanted to shut in the inner city to provide the staffing for that, but Labor have said that they'll provide extra staffing for Marsden Park there, and they've also committed to another major aerial and staffing in Western Sydney. There's another 100 or so jobs on top of that. They're obviously going into the future. We'll be looking at 50 jobs each year and rolling those out. That's if sort of a Labor government gets in. I suppose one other thing, and not to go on about the Labor Party, but obviously there's only 2 parties that can really form government in this state, and that is the Liberal Party and the ALP. The New South Wales Labor Party. Like I said, the Liberal Party have not responded to our letter. The New South Wales Labor Party have also committed to a fairer industrial relations system. If you have a look at the papers over the last couple of days, they're talking about blowing the wage cap and all sorts of rhetoric going on. But my understanding of what's happening there is that the Industrial Relations Commission will get some of its powers back that was stripped out of it by the Liberal government. So we'll be able to work with the Industrial Relations Commission and the employer or go into dispute and run fair work value cases and talk about wage increases over 2.5% that isn't necessarily funded internally. Now, I think that's a great initiative by New South Wales Labor, and certainly the Liberal government has come out and attacked that. I don't think it's going to... I think it's an absolute point of difference between these 2 parties. Everyone in the job that's got into the job in the last 10 years knows that that's one of our biggest problems, is that we've had our budget cut. we can't go and fight fairly for wage increases for any new work that's brought on. So I think that's an absolute, great initiative by the Labor Party. Just a couple of other things. As I said, we will be campaigning. We're campaigning in Ballina. We're doing pre-poll. I was up there earlier this week. A big thank you to all the members that are supporting us up there. Big shout out to all the retired guys that are turning up, and throwing on the yellow pants and giving us a hand. We do need your help in Ballina, and we certainly need it over the next week and 2 days. We also need some help in Port Stephens. So if you can provide any help whatsoever in those two areas, give us a call, especially on election day. Call into the union office. We'll take your name, and if not, we've got officials out there calling people and we'll be asking for help. We need to be absolutely front and centre and visible to make sure that we get the funding that we need to make us that frontline service that we all know that we are. Again, I suppose it comes down to election day, and like I said, we do get to vote for our boss. We're in that lucky position where we get to choose the people that write the policies, that provide the budgets, that determine the priorities of what occurs. Now, we all know that this government doesn't think that we're frontline. They all know that they've cut our budget. If nothing had changed to our budget from 2011, we'd be over $60 million more in our budget going forward, which means $60 million for more firefighters, more money for training, better, newer trucks. I mean, I think the figure at the moment we're talking about is over 30% of our fleet is past its replacement age. These are the sorts of things that when we go to the election, when we go to the polls, and why we should also help out and be visible for that. These are the things we need to be thinking about. So, I can't stress that to you enough. Have a think this time around next week, and please give us a call if you can give us a hand. Like I said today, it is very short and sharp. The only other issue that's on the boil at the moment is nature of illnesses. Now, an email was sent out for the department about the nature of illness on your MC. Now, this is not an old issue, not a new issue. This is an absolute old issue. It goes back many, many years, and there's a lot of sit reps on it. We'll be putting something out in the sit rep to clarify the position going forward. What I will say about this, if you look at the award at the moment, 23.4 says you must provide a nature of illness with your medical certificate. Now, a nature of illness is certainly not a diagnosis. So a diagnosis is you have influenza A. A nature of illness is you have flu-like symptoms. Now, if you're having any dramas whatsoever with your medical certificates being accepted, contact the office and we will provide advice about what you need to do and how you need to resolve it. We'll be contacting the department at some stage and having a discussion with them so we can get hopefully agreement about what nature of illness means. But if you go to the award, 23.4, nature of illness, and it's been in there quite a while. Anyone that's also, allegedly having their pay doc, they absolutely need to contact the office about this, and we will take that issue up for you as well. Like I said, there's going to be a very, very quick update today. Hopefully, I'll do one in early April. Like I said, I've got to get out to Western Sydney to do a media request. So hopefully you guys can have a chat with this. If you want a handout, want to help out, please give us a call. Thank you.